kulantii wacan oo wanaagsan daawadayaasha qiimiga iyo qadarinta mudana oo idilaahantiima meel kastoo aad joogtaan waad ku mahadsantihiin daawashada barnaamijka muuqaalka Soomaalida oo idinka imaanaya magaalada Toronto waxaan idinku mahad celinaynaa sida aad had jeer u daawataan barnaamijka oo qayb qaadataan barnaamijka maanta aan idin hayno waxaad muddaa inuu ka duwan yahay kuwii hore waa barnaamij runtii qof kasta oo Soomaaliya meel uu joogaba loo oran karo waxay u tahay farxad aad u weyn dhawaan ayaa taliska guud ee ciidanka booliiska ee magaalada Toronto waxa lagu qabtay xaflad loogu talagalay in guud ahaan muslimiinta masaajidada ku yaala magaalada Toronto ay ka soo qayb galaan iyo dad kale oo fara badan oo kala duwan isla docda kale waxa si weyn loogu soo dhaweeyay sarkaalkii ugu horeeyay oo Soomaali ah oo isagu ka tirsan ciidanka booliiska magaalada Toronto oo ahaa si weyn arin loogu farxo sarkaalkaas oo magaciisa la yiraahdo Ahmed Ismail waa nin dhalinyaro ah da'diisuna aad u yar tahay isla markaasna wuxuu soo dhameystay tababaradii loo baahnaa haddana wuxuu ka howlgalaa oo ka shaqeeyaa ciidanka booliiska magaalada Toronto waa arin muhiim ah oo dhalinyaradu ay aad ugu dayan karaan dadka waaweynna ay kala qayb gali karaan sidii ubadka Soomaalidu ay meel ay joogaan ba arimahaas ay u noqon lahaayeen kuwa loo qiimeeyo magaca ummadda Soomaalidana waa mid meel kor u qaadaya ama sare u qaadaya markaad eegto kaalinta uu ka galay Ahmed Ismail ciidanka booliiska ee magaalada Toronto xafladda ay ahayd mid si weyn loogu soo bandhigay hadallo iyo khudbado kala duwan ciyaaro hidaha dhaqanka oo dadka dhaqamada kala duwan ee magaalada Toronto ku sugan qaarkood ay soo bandhigeen ayaa waxay ahayd xaflad jawigeedu aad u qurux badnaa dadka dhaqamada kala duwan iyo diimaha kala duwan ee magaalada Toronto ayaa xafladda si weyn uga soo qayb qaatay barnaamijkuna wuxuu ka dhacay faras magaalaha weyn ee Toronto halkaasi oo ahayd xarunta taliska guud ee ciidanka booliiska saraakiishii ka hadashay halkaasi waxay farta ku fiiqeen Ahmed Ismail oo nin dhalinyaro ah oo Soomaali ah sida u tahay wax farxad leh in lagu soo dhaweeyo magaalada Toronto gaar ahaan ciidanka booliiska ee magaalada Toronto isagu wax ku bartay dugsiyada ku yaala magaalada Toronto ka gadaalna akademiyada booliiska ka soo baxay haddaba aan soo dhaweeyo saaxiibkay Burhaan Warsame Cabdi oo inoo qabanaya wareysiyada aan ku soo dhaweeyo Burhaan adiga leeyahay
Sir Ahmed Ismail is the first Somali officer who graduated as a police officer here in Toronto. So I wanted to ask you, and we have a lot of youth in the city, so I wanted to ask you your input on what you think as a police officer.
I think we're very proud to have him join the Toronto Police Service and serve a community that has frankly been underserved until this time. And we're quite excited not only that he stood up, took up the challenge, and he's joined our service, but he's here with us tonight to celebrate this festive occasion and be here with his family as well, which is really, really nice.
Thank you very much. Ahmed, let me ask you, it's a great night. Not only you are the first Somali police officer here, but how do you feel about the whole occasion tonight?
The whole occasion was organized pretty well. I think there couldn't have been a better way to bring me into the picture. Everybody's excited, as you can see. My family's excited. My dad's here. It's a matter of moving forward from today. So I'm looking forward to the challenge.
What do you think about the challenge of the first Somali police officer?
You don't have to put the pressure on me, but I mean, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but the first step is to recruit as much young people from my community as possible. And just, like I said, take it one step at a time. Nothing happens overnight, so that being said, we're just gonna try to, it's a long-term effort.
telefishinka Soomaalida muuqaalka Soomaalida waxa noo suurta gashay in aanu la kulano askarigii ugu horeeyay Soomaaliya ee magaalada ka noqday police officer waa Ahmed Ismail waxaan jeclahay inaan su'aal weydiiyo ku-xigeenka booliiska magaalada Toronto inspector and deputy and Frederick inaan su'aal weydiiyo and sir my question is tonight we have the first Somali police officer who joined the force here in Toronto. How do you feel about it, and how do you see it in a community which we feel it's underrepresented?
Well, we're very proud to have our first Somali-speaking Toronto police officer.
Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Assalamu Alaikum. Chair Mukherjee, Deputy Federico, Superintendent Stubbings, senior officers, members of the service, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good evening. Welcome to the Toronto Police Service Celebration of Diversity. I'm Staff Superintendent Cyril Fernandez, the Uniform Co-Chair of the Muslim Consultative Committee. Chief William Blair has been quoted as saying, "Policing is most effective when we have strong relationships with our local neighborhoods in the city." This evening offers a chance to celebrate the many achievements the community and the Toronto Police Service have made towards the growth and prosperity of Toronto in terms of enhancing our future. Both the South and West Asian and the Muslim Consultative Committee have had an extremely productive year, working in partnerships with the Toronto Police Service to identify and solve problems associated with crime and safety in many of our communities. My co-chair is Mr. Osman Khan, and at this point, I would like to recognize the members of the Muslim Consultative Committee. Would you please stand and be recognized? Ladies and gentlemen, please give them a round of applause. I would now also like to acknowledge the co-chairs of the South and West Asian Consultative Committee, Mr. Zul Kasamali, Superintendent Rick Stubbins, and all the other members. Would you please stand and be recognized? Superintendent Stubbins is the latest member of the team. He's an incredible leader, and we're so very glad to have him on board. Two more people that are instrumental in the success of the offices of the Community Mobilization Unit, which is the unit that supports our two committees. They are very much part of our family, and I would like to recognize them now. Jennifer Sidhu and Johnny Bobble, please stand where you are. These two officers have demonstrated some incredible leadership skills. It never ceases to amaze me how dedicated they are and their tenacity when it comes to community issues. Well done, and thank you. I'm honored and privileged to be a part of the celebration of diversity, which was choreographed by the Muslim and the South and West Asian Consultative Committees. And I might add, these people are all volunteers. They give up of their own time for the support of the community. But I would also at this time like to recognize the families and the members of the volunteers and thank them for giving their support and thank them for being understanding and giving of their loved ones, the most precious loved ones, to help us succeed. Many of you here tonight, I want to recognize you for that dedication. Thank you. Our efforts to embrace our differences, value, it recognizes teamwork, it respects and cherishes the partnerships we build with our community in order to make Toronto the safest place to be. Some of the many initiatives that I will speak of, and I will only speak of a few of them, are the attending at various mosques, temples, and gurdwaras to get to know the community, to facilitate the exchange of information. You'll hear about initiatives to assist disaster victims worldwide, the feeding of the homeless in the city, working with faith leaders, the community, local divisions, and other units within the service to problem solve and to enhance relationships. You've heard about mentoring and supporting our youth through leadership programs and sporting events, and assist the service in recruiting the best people for the job. I'm very proud to announce that we have our first auxiliary uniformed Toronto Police female officer to wear her hijab and uniform. Auxiliary Officer Mona Tabish works out of 23 Division. Mona is fluent in French and Arabic. She is currently a French teacher who also volunteers her spare time teaching our youth the French language. Her main motivation for joining the auxiliary program is to strengthen the relationships between this service and the community, especially where visible minorities and women are concerned. Today, we also have our first Toronto Police Somalian officer, Ahmed Ismail, who works out of 55 Division. He moved to Toronto when he was 5 years old. He graduated high school from Sir Oliver Mowat Collegiate in Scarborough. Talk about a native. He worked at the Parks and Recreation for 6 years. He credits his positive life choices to family, community, and his faith. He became a police officer to act as a positive role model to the youth and allow them to make a positive life change. And I was wondering if he's here tonight, and if he is, please step forward and be recognized. Thank you both very much for being here. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." That's exactly what's being done here by the work that we do. Today, the work of the South and West Asian and the Muslim Consultative Committees serve as role models and also embody the celebration of diversity. Their accomplishments are to be recognized as another fine example of teamwork. Their contributions have helped make Toronto culturally diverse, compassionate, and a prosperous city that it is today. Thank you all for being here, and enjoy tonight's celebration.
My biggest goal overall is to alleviate as much fear of the police as I can in my community. I find a lot of these kids don't understand the effects that the fear of the police is having on them. You know, if we constantly, are looking in the rearview mirror, we're almost implying that, we're criminals. And I know for a fact that majority of the people in the Somali community are hardworking, educated people who are not criminals. So if we treat ourselves like a criminal, we start to believe that we are a criminal. And that's why a lot of people have issues with their confidence. They'll go into an interview, and right when they walk into the job interview, they assume he's not going to hire me because I'm Somali. And that shouldn't be the case. They should hire you because the Somali people is a community that is hardworking, and we have a rich history. We've accomplished a lot in the history, and we've accomplished a lot so far in our 20 years in this country. There's no limit on what we could do. It's just a matter of us not setting the limit and not setting the bar. That being said, we got to participate as much as we can in different of the community, whether it be running for office or being a police officer, being a lawyer. We just got to diversify as much careers as we can, and we got to see ourselves in every walk of life, not just in the generic, jobs that we've always been told that are good. Somalis have to be a mirror of every side of the community in Toronto. And I truly think that we could set a good example for the rest of the people in Toronto.